Yo, it's that man on fire, the spirit on fire. Subscribe to the channel. And today I'm going to be responding to a video by Muncie Councilman of Indiana, Ryan Webb's video. Basically, in the video, he was basically saying black men, we commit 50% of the murders, and basically we are just bad people, and saying our society as black men has gone down due to the effects of us leaving the house or so. I don't know. I had a dad. I don't understand. But and a mom in the same house. But the thing is, you could be right about the statistics, but at the same time is he was saying that like it's not white people's fault at all about the dyers that the black man has to live in today. And honestly, as a white man, I don't even understand how you could even have the audacity to even think that and even say that online. Just through the history, I don't know if you got F's in school, but if you went through any history class or black history or anything about that, you know that the black man and the white man's lifestyle as far as how we grow up is different just because of we live in America and the system is been for white man. It wasn't for black men. That police used to actually be slave catchers, and now they're actual police officers. But it comes from catching Negroes. We live in a society where you not understand that like that we used to have our own good communities during segregation. Black Wall Street, they bombed it with the military, and then I'm gonna try to drive our own 3 semi trucks. I'm okay. But listen, look at this. So I've been driving, and you'll see a lot of these big old reservoirs and dams. Did you know a lot of those were black communities, and they flooded them. So I mean, what can we do when we have our own communities? We get bombed. We get, you got to think about it. There's a time where we couldn't even sue, couldn't count, couldn't read. You get killed, get hung. You get, you know what I mean? Like what? How does that not affect the conditions of the black men as even today? Like my grandma was born in 1919. She died a few years ago. But my thing is, she got to experience a lot of racism, and her grandmother was damn near a slave. So like, let's get into like, it's only a few people ago that this stuff was prevalent, and so a few people ago is easily the residual effects of the systemic racism. We can't just blame the black man. Yes, the black man has individual, ability to succeed, but at the same time, even as a successful black man you are still a black man in this society. We don't have our own dollar. We don't have a nation. We are called black, and I'm not even black. There's no black nation. There's no black country. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things wrong with Ryan Webb's view, and I just want to help people out. I'm not racist. I've been around white people my whole life. Went to school with white people. I was like the only black kid at a white school, and we'll tune in for another video for that. But at the same time, I have mixed kids. My mom taught me to not be racist. You know what I mean? And even though grew up around other people that told me about how some individuals are, but me going to a school with white people, I didn't experience that because they liked us so much. You know what I'm saying? Until I went to a city school, and there was a little bit of differences. But at the same time, though, we can't just put the blame all on black people for slavery and the lack of businesses we have, the lack of funding we have due to just us being black. That's what I'm not going to allow anybody to say and without me pointing out the facts. And we're going to get into the facts of this, because the point is that slavery and the racism that has happened in America has residual effects, and it, for 400 years up to today, the residual effects are still in effect, and that is the reason why black people kill and hurt and in despair, alcoholics and drug addictions, is because of the residual effects from the system, placed upon us. And yes, you have to be strong to beat that, but at the same time, there's a lot of communities that are where that effect is so hard. You got to think about it. In Chicago, if you're black, you're probably going to be most likely, like, if you on 63rd and all, you go either you know what I mean, people die. You could get shot and easily, just had a cousin got ran over. It's crazy out here. But let's get into some reasons why the system, in AKA, not going to say the elite, but the white men in charge over the history of time, has the reason for the conditions the black man is in. Okay, so let's get into it. So the elevated rates of violence in some black communities are not inherent to the communities themselves, but are deeply rooted in historical and systemic factors shaped by white-dominated institutions and policies. These factors have created environments where violence is more likely to occur, not because of the individuals within these communities, but due to conditions imposed upon them over generations. Number one, historical redlining and its lasting impact. In the 1930s, the Homeowners Loan Corporation, HOLC, created maps that graded neighborhoods based on their perceived investment risk. Black neighborhoods were often marked in red, signaling them as hazardous for investments, a practice known as redlining. This led to decades of disinvestment in these areas, resulting in concentrated poverty, limited access to quality education, and adequate public services. A study published in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine found that individuals who lived in redline areas throughout their lives had a 4.8% higher average probability of experiencing violent victimization compared to those who never lived in such an area. Number two, mass incarceration and community disruption. The United States has the highest incarceration rate globally, with black Americans disproportionately affected. Policies from the war on drugs era led to mass incarceration of black individuals, often for non-violent offenses. This has disrupted family structures and community cohesion. Children with incarcerated parents are more likely to experience behavioral issues and academic challenges, according to a report by Washington Post. By age 14, approximately 25% of African Americans have experienced a parent being in prison. Number three, economic disparities and limited opportunities. Systemic racism has led to a significant economic disparities between blacks and white Americans. Discriminatory hiring practices, wage gaps, and limited access to capital have hindered wealth accumulation in black communities. The lack of economic opportunities can lead to increased crime rates as individuals struggle to meet basic needs. Black-owned banks have historically played a crucial role in supporting African-American communities, yet they face challenges due to limited resources and competition from larger financial institutions. Number four, educational inequalities. Education systems in predominantly black neighborhoods often suffer from underfunding and lack of resources. A legacy of segregation and ongoing systemic neglect, inferior educational opportunities, limit future employment prospects, perpetuating cycles of poverty and crime. Jim Crow laws enforce educational segregation, ensuring that black students receive substandard education compared to their white counterparts. Number five, policing, practicing, and community relations. Police practicing and community relations, and I apologize. Policing strategies have historically targeted black communities, leading to over-policing and strained community relationships. These super predator myth of the 1990s portraying young black men as inherently violent, justifying harsh sentencing and aggressive policing tactics despite declining crime rates. These narratives persist, influencing public perception and policy. Number six, urban planning and environmental factors. Urban planning decisions have often marginalized black communities, placing them in areas with limited access to public transportation, healthcare, and nutritious food. Additionally, these neighborhoods frequently have higher densities of liquor stores and other establishments associated with increased crime rates. A study examining New York City found that neighborhoods with a history of redlining had a significantly higher violent crime rate correlating with higher densities of alcohol outlets. Number 7, media representation and public perception. Media often disproportionately portrays black individuals as perpetrators of crime, reinforcing negative stereotypes and influencing public opinion. This skewed representation can lead to support for punitive policies rather than addressing underlying systemic issues. Such narratives detract from the need for community investment and reform. Health disparities and access to care. Black communities often face barriers to accessing quality health care, including mental health services. Untreated mental health issues can contribute to cycles of violence and incarceration. Historical neglect and systemic racism in the healthcare have led to mistrust and disparities in treatment. Number 9, housing instability and gentrification. Gentrification can displace long-standing residents of black communities, disrupting social networks and support system. The displacement can lead to increased stress and instability factors associated with higher crime rates. Additionally, the loss of affordable housing exacerbates economic challenges. Number 10, political disenfranchisement. Voter suppression tactics such as strict ID laws and purging the voter rolls disproportionately affects black communities. Political disenfranchisement limits the ability of these communities to advocate for policies that address the systemic issues contributing to crime and violence. These factors, rooted in systemic racism and historical policies, have created environments where violence is more likely to occur. Addressing these issues requires a comprehensive policy reform, community investment, and commitment to dismantling systemic barriers. So basically, guys, this is just some of the issues, but you got to even think about the rap music. You understand how much money that these people in the media have spent to dumb down the black man? Do you know how more money has been spent to make the black man so-called a thug or so-called this in the media than they have to make the atom bomb? And that's the bomb. If you don't understand that, hey, I don't know what to do. But hit that subscribe button and share this.